Hi guys, hope you guys are all doing well. If you click this video, obviously I'm assuming that you have picked this, especially if you picked this as your vacuum, as well as that you are looking to do the surgery, you've done the surgery, and you're trying to find a little bit of information about how it is, obviously after the surgery or how it's going to be. So for me, I had the surgery around about just over about a year and 7 or 8 months. So I'm coming up on my 2-year mark. I had it in 2018 and the 29th of August. It's the end of August. And I have a double nuss, which means I've got 2 bars inside of my chest, as well as a stabilizer on the top, one at the top, and one on the opposite side at the bottom. So my top left has a stabilizer, my bottom right has a stabilizer. Both of my bars are straight as such. Some people have them crossed over in different forms, depends on the surgeon. I had mine performed in Netcare Waterfall Hospital, which is in South Africa in Midrand. I had a really good experience with them. If I just give a couple of ideas how the surgery was specifically, it was pretty painful, I won't lie. From start to finish, it was a pretty unpleasant experience, and it still is currently till today. Especially with training and stuff. I have picked up a bit of body weight. I am more or less close to where I was in terms of weight, not altogether, but close enough. But I definitely don't have that muscle definition. So I've picked up a lot of body fat from this experience, and that's not something that you always want. But at the same time, after the surgery is a good thing, because I've lost a lot of weight through the surgery. So you could actually see the bars, as most people would, you'll be actually able to see the stabilizer sticking out on the side where the bars actually were in. So that was pretty painful, but I did pick up a lot of body weight over the course of the last year and 6 months or 8 months, and which has been good, because at the same time it also basically hid the bar from actually protruding out, which has helped me just a little bit cushion some of the metal specifically. So, and the inside has also helped a little bit. But I won't ever say that there's a day that I don't have pain. Prior to my surgery, I already read up a lot of people and watched their videos on YouTube, and I saw a lot of people didn't have pain. They spoke about having a normal life afterwards, and some people not. Some people explained that they had a lot of pain after surgery and it wasn't pleasant. For me, it's been a rough process at the moment still. It's been a really rough ending out of the surgery. I directly went into ICU. I was there for about a day, just over a day. Then I went to high care for about a day as well. And then right by my 4th day, I got discharged from the hospital. So I was around about 3.5-4 days specific in hospital. I was on Oxycontin as well. I was on a lot of strong medication as well. So yeah, it was a lot of strong medication as well. I was on my medication for about 2 weeks after my surgery. I was on medication in hospitals and all the bad things, and I lost a lot of strength. So after surgery, you're very weak as such. It took me around about, I'll be honest, about between 5 and 6 months in order for me to get back to training, or at least to a phase where I could train without actually having to just tiptoe around every machine. And I do prefer the weights inside the gym, especially the machines, compared to free body weight exercises. As now that we're in a lockdown, you're very limited to the exercise equipment that you do have. So the nice thing about actually having the metal in is because it always has pain. Doesn't matter what I do. Obviously, there's no yoga that I'm doing. There's no flexibility, no stretching. There's no rotation exercises. There's nothing specific you can do that can actually, basically use the upper body in the center, other than just isolating, stabilizing. So isolation exercises work best for me inside the gym. Obviously, single hand, one hand. Bench press I did start to do, but very light. Before the practice, I used to be able to do, or before the surgery, I used to do about 100, at most 120, maybe just a little bit more than that, 120 kilograms on a bench press. Now I'm doing around about probably 40, at most 60. So that's about a 60 to 50%, 50 to 60% drop in my weight. In terms of how heavy I can actually go inside the gym as well with weights. So yeah, that's been pretty sucky, but you must remember you do have metal inside of you, so it's not as if you just can resume normal life. A lot of surgeons are speaking about you can resume normal life. I don't know what they specifically mean by normal life, because nothing that I'm doing at the moment is 100% normal. So every way that I do an exercise, I automatically think in my mind about the bars itself. When I wake up in the morning, the bars usually get stiff. When it's cold, it gets stiff. And I have a lot of pain with the stabilizer itself, which a lot of guys would have spoke about that before as well. They're speaking about the stabilizer being the problem of pain. That's 100% correct. So a lot of people don't have stabilizers, but I did, and they are the source of the pain. So for the first 6 months to a year, my right bottom stabilizer was a big problem. It kept on clicking and it was really sore. So clicking, it basically rubs on the rib itself. That was very painful. That went away after about a year. And then now my top left stabilizer, which is under basically my armpit over here, has been the main source of the problem for the last decent couple of months. And I don't think that's going away anytime soon. So if I do anything like a push-up or anything like that, it's usually the top one that hurts, not the bottom one. And the thing is that you do notice with these, because the bars stabilizers have an opposite position, basically like this, any pressure you do put it on basically kind of like, twists the pressure between the two bars. So the top one being obviously a smaller bar takes more pressure and therefore actually hurting a bit more. I've kind of avoided everything that you could do basically that could put your health at risk. I don't do any water sports. I wanted to do that, wakeboarding. Decided against that because if you fall and your body gets in an unnatural position, which you just cannot do at the moment, basically your bars could protrude, you could break your ribs, and that means emergency surgery and you start all over. So I've chosen the approach to take this safely and cautiously for the next 3 years, to avoid everything and just take it slowly as is and then go from there. Next year I'm scheduling my surgery. I'm in my mind planning to do it 2 months prior to actually my 3-year anniversary. Just because of the fact that it is actually going to be winter as such, and I want to be 100% recovered by the time that it is December next year, so I can go to the beach and have a normal experience. I have avoided swimming in the sea completely. Like I said, I don't want anything that puts me in an unnatural position to hurt. Training, I have basically resumed 80% of my training to the normal exercises, but I would say 80% of the exercises that I do is limited in its majority of the things that I'm doing. So for example, if it's bench press, I'm doing half of the weight. If it's tricep extensions, I'm doing half of the weight. Even just anything that's directly pushing on the body, it's in opposition to the pressure to the body, and that hurts. So I tend to avoid a lot of things that are actually that heavy. Picking up things, I don't do deadlifts at all, because when I actually bend forward and I try to pick something up, it puts direct pressure on those stabilizers and they hurt quite a lot. So I don't do any deadlifts or anything like that. If I do bend up and I pick something up, I actually just do a normal full squat. So I actually use my legs and not my lower back, basically by bending. So I actually go kind of down to my whole body other than just bending forward over. So yeah, sleeping, if I can just go over that quick. I find myself quite a lot on my side at the moment. Around about after 8 months, I could sleep on my side, just over 8 months. And what I noticed is I can only sleep on my right hand side. So only on the right hand stabilizer I can sleep. The left one, I've caught myself in a couple of times where I was sleeping on the left hand side and all of a sudden, it basically like a calf, where the calf actually starts to lock up the muscle. The same thing happens with my bar at the top. So a couple of times I was lying on the left hand side and what happened was, it actually rips, tears some of the fascia that's close to the bar, and the muscle actually just goes in a hold. And I cannot explain this to you. It's one of the most painful things you can ever go through. The muscle just basically holds, and you can feel it rip, and it has a lot of inflammation and extremely a lot of pain. Actually, this happened a couple of months ago, and I remember feeling the exact same as I did basically right out of surgery, where even just standing up would put the immensely amount of pain and pressure on that area, and it would sting so bad the whole time that you just want to sit and cross your arms and just do nothing. Even just talking would actually create a lot of pain. So I used some anti-inflammatories after that. Around about 3 or 4 days, it started to ease up, and then eventually it went away. That happened recently again. I found myself on my left hand side again, because obviously my back and my right side gets tied. And it happened again, and so close to about a week took to recover, and it's still painful, but it's not near as painful as it was. So it's been a rough experience. I don't think that when you have the bars in, it ever goes away completely and gets better unless you take the metal out. I do think this experience is different for everyone. I was in pretty good shape before the surgery. I had a lot of muscle mass as well. So not everyone's in the same position as I was. It's been a pretty unpleasant experience, I won't lie. I've been a little bit miserable with them in. I'm looking very forward to taking them out and just proceeding with the way forward. So luckily that time should come up in the next year. In the meanwhile, I changed my medical insurances as well. My previous medical aid didn't cover 100% of everything as well. They left me with about a $3,500 bill. So that's quite a lot of money at that stage. And I'm still paying it off. I'm paying my surgeon directly off as well. And now currently I moved my medical aids to a different medical aid that actually does know about the condition. It's actually recognized with them. They have a lot of information about them. And speaking to my surgeon's office as well, they actually told me that they have the least amount of problems with this particular medical aid that I'm joining now. So that might be a good thing prior to actually getting the appointment to the surgeon, is just maybe asking the surgeon's office what medical aids or medical insurance actually does cover most of the surgeries in the experience, or what might be the best, and then do your planning around that. I had to wait about a year and a half to get onto the medical aid to get it covered. So I had a waiting clause that I had to wait. I waited that out and had the surgery about a year and a half later after joining the medical aid, specifically my previous one. So now, luckily, there is no exclusion in the new medical aid because I was covered. So basically, when I go next year, I can just have them removed and just move on. The surgery of taking them out is a lot easier and a lot quicker than putting them in. So I'm looking very forward to that and getting back to my normal life after that as well. All right, guys, thanks for the video. I know it's a bit long. Just give a couple of highlights. If you guys have any questions, please just give a comment in the comment section. Send me a message. I'm more than happy to answer you guys' questions. Have a good day.